The Wall Street Journal.
Virus shrinks economy by 4.8%. GDP falls at fastest pace since the 08 crisis, marking likely start of a recession. Aerospace industry forced to retrench. The world's biggest aerospace companies outlined survival plans that include thousands of job cuts and raising fresh funds as their airline customers reel from the coronavirus pandemic and the near collapse of global passenger air travel. Many missteps led to mask shortages. A new virus had rapidly spread across the globe, and Tuomi healthcare system in South Carolina couldn't get more protective masks for its hospital workers. A run on them had created a shortage. Young doctors struggle to treat pandemic sickest. Inexperienced residents say they are thrust into ICUs, unprepared. Gilead drug weighed for most severe cases. Emergency use standards aren't as high as in a typical drug approval. Federal health regulators are exploring whether to greenlight the emergency use of a Gilead Sciences Incorporated drug in serious COVID-19 patients, after U.S. government researchers reported the therapy helped the patients recover faster.
The New York Times.
Economy shrinks at quickest pace since 2008 plunge. Data reflects first weeks of shutdown hinting far worse is yet to come. Early findings from drug trial lift stock market and spirits. College athletes could cash in fame in a landmark plan. They sat for a game of cards, each hand posing a dire risk. Packing street writes for Rabbi Inger de Blasio. Mayor draws outrage as he seethes online. Biden's silence on sex allegation leads to a standoff in his party. Women's groups urged him to respond. Hidden feats of skyscrapers. Fire kills 38 in South Korea. Trump attacks own campaign.
Chicago Sun-Times.
Remdesivir proves effective vs. virus in study. We've got a drug that works, UAC researcher says. Promising results from a major study into an experimental drug used to treat the new coronavirus should give people a sense of relief that we've got a drug that works, a physician at University of Illinois at Chicago Health who participated in the study says. Culture from your couch. Local theaters, dance troupes offer virtual programming. A dead man lives on digitally in Amazon satirical, sometimes spiritual series upload. Governor postpones next round of pot licenses. A dream delayed for social equity candidates. State postpones approvals for next pot shops. Officials were expected to announce winners of 75 coveted recreational dispensary licenses on Friday.
New York Post.
Dead wrong. Dozens of bodies left in hot trucks amid virus crisis. Police found up to 60 corpses piled into unrefrigerated U-Haul trucks outside a Brooklyn funeral home and on the floor of the facility yesterday, after neighbors called to complain about the horrible stench. "You don't respect the dead that way," fumed a man who owns a property nearby. A Brooklyn precinct commander was warned that a rabbi's funeral would draw a big crowd, so he sent dozens of cops with barricades and light towers, only to see them overwhelmed by thousands of mourners, the Post has learned.
Los Angeles Times.
Extraordinary shock to economy. GDP falls 4.8% in the first quarter, the first decline in years. Fed chief warns of much worse damage ahead. Study yields hope for treating COVID-19. In findings hailed by Dr. Fauci, the drug remdesivir shortened recovery time for seriously ill patients. State won't dive into reopening. Processes like testing the waters, with many goals still far off. Poop is key tool in virus analysis. Arash is on to test wastewater to track coronavirus's spread. Biden allegation puts his allies on the spot. He's not talking about sex assault accusation, but it's not going away.
Chicago Tribune.
Suit. Pritzker runs police state. GOP rep seeks to expand first exemption granted from stay-at-home order. Fauci. Drug shows promise. Remdesivir helped ill patients recover faster during trial. School's alumni donate masks. Days before the rest of his life, virus took life. 34-year surgical tech was set to retire. Hopes fly as plovers sighted. Season's first sighting may mean a summer that's for the birds.
USA Today.
Economy sees biggest drop since 08. GDP falls 4.8% in first quarter, Fed promises more action to lessen fallout. The US economy, largely shut down by the coronavirus pandemic, turned in its worst performance in more than a decade in the first quarter, but the dismal showing reflects just a sliver of the damage to come. Mom gets home for sons last week. Paramedic's job had kept her from dying 5-year-old. Order to keep meat plants open stirs fears. COVID-19 spikes are tied to meatpacking sites.
The Washington Post.
Hopes rise for a potential drug to combat virus. Fauci. Early data shows positive effect, US deaths hit 60,000, once hoped to be upper limit. Economy contracts by 4.8% with much worse to come. The US economy suffered its sharpest decline since the Great Recession, a 4.8% drop from January through March, and the head of the Federal Reserve warned the second quarter would be even uglier, as many Americans continue to stay home to stem the spread of the coronavirus. Health experts investigate second-week crash. Some patients who seem stable or even on mend can become critically ill. Maryland's tests from S. Korea have yet to be deployed. For High Court, a change in venue. Oral arguments to resume before the justices in work-from-home style.